Spring, the 8 teams in the Western Conference officially set. We know who's going into the postseason. It still remains to be seen how the Pacific Division is going to pan out, who's going to win that thing, who's going to be the 2-3 seed, and then who's going to be that final team that falls to the wild card 2 to play the Colorado Avalanche. The Eastern Conference is also set with their 8 teams. There's still a little bit of jockeying, positioning to happen within the Atlantic Division, but Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are locked into playing in the 2-3 seed in the Metro. Boston and Ottawa are your wild card teams in the Eastern Conference. The Avs, the 1 seed in the West, the number 1 seed overall. Dallas and Minnesota are locked in to that series in the 2-3 seed. However, we have a logjam in the Pacific Division right now with the LA Kings getting a 2-goal victory tonight with the empty netter. Made it a little sketchy against the Seattle Kraken. They now sit in the wild card 2 position with 89 points. However, they do have 2 games remaining in this regular season. They are 2 points behind Vegas for the lead in the Pacific, who are now tied with the Edmonton Oilers. They get 1 point, not 2, after the Avs get a shootout victory tonight. It is jumbled up, but we know who the 16 teams are.
Well, let me say this about tonight's game. The Edmonton Oilers wanted to win this game.
Badly.
They cared. They cared. The Avs did not care. And that's why they only scored 1 goal, because man, and I know that, MacKinnon, Natchez, Landeskog, Nelson, Nichushkin, etc. are out there. They don't have that innate, gotta have it,
Right. It's very clear.
Yeah, there's a thing, when it matters and it doesn't. And obviously, you still have to try, because if you don't try, you'll get hurt. These dudes are all flying real fast out there, but there's not that gear, that next lock-in mode. The meme where you're playing your video games and you're in the back of your chair, but then, oh shit, I gotta win this thing. Now you're leaning forward. The Avs, they weren't even leaning forward tonight, and they still won that thing. So that says all you need to know about this season's Edmonton Oilers team. They're what are the Knights? The Knights, since Torts came, have an overtime loss, but
they're 5-0-1. Yeah,
5-0-1. I would look at Vegas at the other side of the bracket as the team that has the best chance of coming out of that thing.
It could be anyone at this point, man. They're all separated by hardly anything. I don't think LA is going to be able to get it done, although they do have the easiest path forward. LA's got the 2 most winnable games remaining on the schedule. I think they have Calgary and Vancouver remaining. Now, they're both on the road, but it's Calgary and Vancouver, 2 teams that are trying to lose games at this point in the season. Calgary sits at 75 points. Vancouver's going to have the highest odds to win the lottery this year, but Calgary, with every loss, can get closer and closer. I think as of right now, it stands that they have the 3rd best odds to win the lottery behind Chicago, and they're tied right now in points with the New York Rangers. So Calgary has no business winning that game, and Vancouver is just a dumpster fire. So LA could win both of those things. I just don't think they're going to end up winning the Pacific. I find myself agreeing with you. Vegas feels a little different right now with Torts. They feel a little bit more dangerous with Mark Stone starting to score, and he's looking faster right now. And Jack Eichel, even though he doesn't have a power play goal, is starting to get that playoff type feel. There's a reason why we're talking about other teams right now. The points are made up and the results don't matter for the Avalanche right now. The extra point is fun. Nathan MacKinnon scored a shootout goal. That's awesome.
Can we institute the shootout in the playoffs now? On team shootout in the playoffs, because who went 3 for 3 in the shootout tonight? The greatest shootout team in the history of the National Hockey League. This year's Colorado Avalanche. They are the power play. No. That's not what's truly been trending upward. It's their shootout performances that have been trending upward. Get that sucker in the playoffs. The Avs are an elite shootout team now. Actually, all 3 of their shootout goals were awesome.
Yeah. Nate just goes back to his tried and true. The shot from Val Nichushkin was awesome.
Was the best.
And I love MacKinnon going straight in with speed and then hitting the brakes a little bit. That's a move that he was really successful on like a handful of years ago. And it's a
He's used
faster
it a couple
version.
times recently.
Right. It's a faster version of the Patrick Kane move rather than like slowing down and then trying to get the goalie to bite and then you make your like quick forehand backhand move. He'll slow down, stick handle a few times, and he's going to wait for that goalie to either drop his glove or drop his blocker side and then snap one quick. I've always loved that move from him. So that's all fine and dandy. Like the power play in overtime was dope. That was great. The 4-on-3, they hit 3 different posts. They had 5 grade A scoring opportunities by my book. It just doesn't go in. Ingram got beat 3 separate times. If you want to throw in the Natchez miss on the net, he got beat 4 separate times. The story of the game today, Spring, was the 1 minute and 24-second 5-on-3 kill. I know Zach Hyman's not playing, and I know that Leon Draisaitl's not playing, but killing off a 5-on-3 against the Oilers, pretty sick.
Yeah, I mean, the kill will still be the kill no matter what the situation is. So good to see against the best power play in the league. Like you said, a couple key players out, but McDavid's still out there. Nugent Hopkins, talented team. Yeah, dude, are they playing Anaheim? Are they playing Anaheim? Because Anaheim finishes at Minnesota tomorrow, at Nashville Thursday. They could play Anaheim.
However, both are teams that don't have anything to play for.
And if the Kings have the easier road and the Kings are just 1 point back of Anaheim, then
this is where it's a crapshoot, though, Spring. This is where it's a crapshoot, though.
What?
I said this is where it's a crapshoot, though, because even though Anaheim on paper has the harder road, Nashville is eliminated, and Minnesota can't do anything. Minnesota is going to Dallas. That is the only series in the Western Conference that is locked in, not only to seeding or not only to matchup, but to seeding. So, like, Minnesota might not play anybody in that game. So, is it really an easier road?
Some dudes. They still have to play some dudes,
right?
And what? Because they
like the Avalanche have to.
Because they have the great goaltending tandem, you're getting one of the two.
Good point.
And it's in Minnesota. And man, the Ducks have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of their last 8. That was my prediction to be the 8th seed when the season started. And here we are, and that could be where we're at. It could be Avs Ducks, and I'm going to be honest with you. Because of their inexperience, like, I don't know, man, like Darcy Kemper is a good goaltender. You add a Panarin, you got a veteran in Kopitar, other good veterans. Maybe the Kings are a tick scary. Anaheim's just so young. There's a reason I like that team, but there's a reason they've lost 7 of 8. If that's who you draw, that's very San Jose Sharksy,
Yes.
They're not going to be that physical, can't get it through the neutral zone, boring, dumb hockey. No, it's going to be a fun series. Ducks will have moments, but the Avs will big brother them, just like they would the Sharks.
The back end for Dallas with Radko Gudas makes me a little wary. Just knowing like how he can injure players, like that would make me a little bit nervous. But I'm not nervous.
Know that you can beat the shit out of him, and he will accept it.
Oh yeah,
he does.
He'll just eat those punches. Totally. Yeah. Lucas Dostal, while he can show up big for a game against Colorado, I don't think he can handle them in a 7-game series. I don't love the forward group in terms of like playoff physicality for Anaheim yet, but they could get there. I still want LA more than anybody else. I think that's the easiest matchup. Are the LA Kings? I think
Anaheim's a tick easier, actually.
Really?
Just because of it comes down to physicality and goaltending. Kemper's solid, and he'd be thinking, hey, let's be on a little Mikko Rantanen-y. I mean, different for sure, but just, hey, that's my former team. Everyone kind of overlooks him as like, oh, they won a cup, like, and he was there, and he was a bigger part than people give him credit for. He's had good numbers the past few years since he left Colorado. Like, Kemper could get hot. I like Dostal. I said he was a long shot Vezina candidate to start the season, not even close to what actually happened. But, there's a good goaltender who's younger there, but the Avs would own him. Kemper is at least solid, more veteran. That's the thing with that, a bigger veteran, more physical. And look, I think it was Levi who pointed out in the chat, we very well might get Kings Oilers part 12, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, it would be 4 straight seasons. And it's gone 7 games, 6 games, 5 games. What would it be in season 4?
I don't think that this Edmonton team, though, the way they're playing right now, because the trend would say sweep for Edmonton, but no. Maybe the Kings could finally get the Oilers this year. Maybe this is the Kings' year.
How insane is it that we're sitting 2 games and some teams just 1 game from the end of the regular season? And all 5 teams between the 3 top in the Pacific and the 2 teams in the wild card are legitimate potential Avalanche opponents. Every single one of those teams right now in the Pacific could fall into the wild card.
Sure.
Utah
every single
could
one of them
fall into the wild card too. Like I can't believe that those 5 teams are separated by a total of 2 points.
It could be Utah.
That like
right.
we have no clarity.
It could be. It looked like Utah was, but the Kings have gotten hot. Like the Kings winning 5 straight and the Ducks losing 7 of 8 changes things. Edmonton, the fact, I mean, dude, they need to go with Conor Ingram in the playoffs. They can't go with Tristan Jarry. And that's hilarious to me that they make that trade.
They're screwed either way.
I know, it's sad. Like, I'm not saying Conor Ingram's amazing. I'm just saying that's what I thought Conor Ingram played pretty well in this game. Better than anything I've seen from Jarry. And we've seen Ingram play decent in the playoffs in brief moments, randomly. Guy who kind of came out of nowhere. In fact, the Avs had to see him when he was a yote.
Well, they had to see him. Didn't they have to see him in Nashville too?
Maybe that's what I was thinking of, was Nashville. Yeah, it was that first round series. I don't even think it was a yote. I think I got that wrong. Yeah, but that's just where the Oilers are at. I don't think they fall to the wild card. I honestly think, dude. I mean, it's funny how it works, right? Like you mentioned, we're getting Flyers, Penguins.
Spring, it's funny. Hold on to your thought. That first round series between Nashville, you go, he's played pretty well in spurts. And I go, they killed Nashville. Him. They swept him. Dude, he had a .913 save percentage.
Yeah, he actually played pretty well.
He played pretty damn well.
I remember
he went
like
0-3 and had a .913 save percentage.
Like, he's a solid goalie. I didn't think like, oh my God, he's the next coming of whoever, but I thought that's a solid little goalie. Like, you know, it sometimes it can't help itself, right? It's the Battle of Pennsylvania. It's Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. It feels like destiny. Oilers, Kings, do it again. Avs get the Ducks. Knights get the Mammoth. That'd be good. You know, they're in the same little slot of the country. Utah and Nevada right next to each other.
You know what the NHL wants, though, is the NHL wants Colorado and Utah in the first round.
That's
you want to hype up your Winter Classic?
Mm-hmm.
Great way to do it.
But I'm rooting for the Ducks at this point. And I see a strong likelihood. Like, that's where I'm at today. I think it's going to be the Ducks. I really do.
Does anything to do with Joel Quenneville get you a little bit nervous? A coach who's been there, done that with young teams and knows how to play a playoff style in the Western Conference. Like, does that give you a little bit of pause?
That's a good point. It's a good point. He never coached any of these dudes. That goes way back. He didn't coach Landeskog, did he? I don't think so.
I don't believe he coached Landeskog, no. I think he had left Colorado by the time this core had come through.
Yeah. But yeah, good coach, but new. I mean, we're in a new era, dude. Can you imagine how intimidating it's going to be to see Jared Bednar on the bench in the playoffs? Like,
with a shiner and stitches.
Dude, that's going to look like a guy that you just don't want to fuck with. And Quenneville, you know, had a decent little era. So his best years were not as the Avs coach, but, you know, had a good little time here. No, this is the Jared Bednar era. Jared Bednar is the best coach in the NHL, actually, and he doesn't get enough credit. He'll beat Joel Quenneville. He will. That's a good way to start this thing off. Out with the
Vegas
old,
is
in with the new.
Vegas is likely Spring to move to 93 points with 29 regulation wins. They're hammering Columbus right now. They'll move to 6-0-1 under John Tortorella. So Vegas, as you said at the beginning of the program, is in the driver's seat to win that Pacific Division, but there is a very good chance that Anaheim falls into the wild card too. We get Edmonton, LA part 4 this year, possibly. And then you would see Anaheim fall into the wild card too, or Utah. So it would come down to the regulation win tiebreaker. Utah has that in hand against both LA and Edmonton, as well as Anaheim. I think you're right, Spring. I think it's going to be the Ducks.
And it's just, they were a little ahead of schedule this year, leading the Pacific for a lot of the year, but a lot of that was Vegas and Edmonton's poor play as much as, or more so than it was the Ducks. And the Ducks played well, but I think it was really more Vegas and Edmonton playing down. But as it all shakes out, and look, the Tortorella move was a good move. I don't think that'd be crazy if that got it done. Like I said to start the show, I think Vegas comes through that side of the bracket. I think Colorado comes through their side. I think it's Torts v. Bednar in the conference finals. Okay, you think you can just bring in John Tortorella a handful of games to go in the season and beat, this group that's been so tightly knit and the chemistry and cohesion has been there for years. Don't love that, but I mean, that's what the other side of the bracket was, that just like a little move like that boosted Vegas, and maybe that's the difference. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not how it plays out, but I mean, it goes to show again that the Avs are the team that's primed for this thing. They're not firing a coach with 10 games to go. They didn't underperform to where an Anaheim could have won their division.
Right.
This is year one of Dallas with a new head coach. I don't know, man. There's got to be something to be said for, Jared Bednar coaching this team it's been almost 10 years now. It's been almost 10 years. And with the turnover of coaches and in the NHL, that has to speak volumes. They're desperate for a second cup. Again, I mean, and you win a game tonight that you're not even, I mean, they were favored. Like the Avs are road favorites, but like, let's be honest, they had no reason to win this game against the team that just went to 2 straight cup finals and has what some people are saying is the Hart Trophy winner, Conor McDavid. Well, guess what, buddy? When your team needed to win, you weren't valuable enough. You didn't beat a team that had no incentive to win tonight. Nathan MacKinnon gets the winning shootout goal. That's your Hart Trophy winner. Yeah, it's been that type of year around the West, and the true consistency, because again, the Stars changed their coach. The true consistency has been with the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, you'd have to hope that this is the year that Bedsy can get them back over the top and prove to the rest of the league there's a reason why he and John Cooper are still around with their teams. There's a very good chance that it could be Colorado in Tampa again in the Stanley Cup final this year. I saw a couple of articles on The Athletic where they were interviewing scouts and GMs and front office execs around the league. And most of them are picking Colorado to come out of the West because of that word consistencies. They've just been the best team from the start of the season all the way through the end. And I find myself thinking that they're going to get it done this year because of the moves that they made. Like they realized that there were deficiencies in how their roster was constituted over the past couple of years. And obviously it changes drastically with the addition of Gabriel Landeskog, right? So he comes back in. The Avs just change how they play. They're just more physical. They're more adult. They are more willing to go into the shitty areas of the ice just when he's there. He is that important to them. And not only do they supplement him with Nazem Kadri, but they bring in a Nicholas Waugh who has that net front grit, and he's been used in multiple places. Val Nichushkin seems like he's put his demons in the past. Knock on wood if you've got it next to you. You move like Brett Kulak is a really solid physical defenseman. Did you see him close out in the neutral zone today in the second period?
Sure.
He had a puck that bounced past him on the offensive blue line, closed it out within the neutral zone. He was good, man. Like, I love what Chris McFarland has done for this team. They've responded with still being excellent. The first team to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. And by the end of the season, they may very well get to 120 points before anybody else. Nobody else can get to that mark. And McFarland did it while still having speed and skill and finesse, but adding in a whole bunch of big fuck you. Like, if they make a run, man, and Chris McFarland isn't GM of the year, I don't know how you get it. I don't know how you win the award.
He should absolutely. I mean, that one's even easier.
They're a different team.
Bednar. That one's even easier than Bednar being coach of the year, which apparently isn't going to happen, which is ridiculous.
No, he's not going to get a sniff.
Yeah, he's not even going to get a sniff. He won't even be a finalist. But I mean, and that one is ridiculous. But even more obvious is McFarland being executive of the year. That one should be obvious. Let's see. Someone in the chat asked about Makar. So Kadri and Makar are on the trip.
They're both on the trip.
Nas will not play. Although I did just see that, they're in Calgary. Nas is going to talk to the media tomorrow since he's back in Calgary. Do you play Kale? I mean, I guess he's from Calgary. They said they wanted to get him a game before the season ends. You could play him in his native Calgary. Now, it's funny. In one hand, it's like, okay, Calgary's not that good. Your risk of getting injured is probably pretty low. That being said, the team that he got hurt against was the Calgary Flames.
Right.
And they were up like 7-2 when that happened.
That big fucker Klapka.
Yes. Fucking Klapka.
He's gigantic. He's gigantic.
That's a guy whose name matches his size. Klapka
yes, sounds like 100%.
Sounds like a big dude.
I think you get Kale back in. Kadri with the finger issue, I don't need him to play. I think it was good that they put him on the flight to be up there at the Saddle Dome and say hi to the fans. Like, whether or not he's on the bench and he just like doesn't play and is dressed, or if he's on the bench in like a suit, I don't know how that's going to work out. You're going to get Blackwood tomorrow. Wedgwood again, fantastic. Stops 30 of 31 this evening, maybe even more than that. He's just your guy. Like, they find ways to win in front of him. The only time he got caught out of position today was like a weird bounce that goes back to McDavid on the side. He was phenomenal. I still think I would have liked to have seen like a Trent Miner game tomorrow, but that's not going to happen. He's not on the plane. I still would have liked to have seen a Taylor Makar call up, something like that, to get Gabe or Nate or Natchez out of the lineup. But like, those guys seem like they just want to play hockey, man. And if they want to play, they're going to stay in the lineup, I guess.
You're probably safe. You're probably safe. But look, you never know what can happen. I didn't have Jared Bednar breaking his face on my bingo card. So you just don't know what the hell is going to happen. And you just cross your damn fingers. But they'll stay in they're going to be in a rhythm. It won't be out of rhythm because the playoffs, they finish on Thursday. You'll probably see maybe Thursday night. That might be the night where you really see a lot of nothing. Like maybe like MacKinnon doesn't play. I don't know. How did Blackwood look on Saturday? I didn't watch Saturday.
I thought he looked fine on Saturday. I said it was the first time in like 3 or 4 starts that I thought he was the better of the 2 goalies on the ice.
Okay. Good, trending in the right direction then. But yeah, Wedgie again tonight looked like the same Scott Wedgwood. But Jared Bednar, dude, I think he's doing what you wanted him to do, man. I think the vibe, based on what Jared Bednar is saying, what I've heard him say, they're not just considering, they're going to alternate the goalies. It seems like that's what they're going to do. Does it not?
Maybe, man. Maybe. It's such a ballsy thing. We've talked about it a lot, Spring. Nobody's done it.
Doing it all year. Why would we change it?
I don't know, dude. It's ballsy. We talked about it like 3-4 weeks ago of like, why not be? And I was the proponent of it. But then Blackwood took a step back. Now,
he did.
If he steps up and he looks really good against Calgary, that'd be awesome. And then they're going to give Wedgwood the final start of the year at home against Seattle. And then if you give Blackwood a game against Anaheim or the Kings and he looks good, then I think you kind of continue to go back and forth and back and forth. But like Blackwood took a big step back and Wedgie just hasn't. He just simply hasn't taken a step back.
No. I mean, he's definitely your game one starter. And you're right. Blackwood has good to hear that he maybe took a step forward.
Yeah, I thought he was good. I thought he was more than okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, it is kind of life and death coming up here. Blackwood almost has lowered his stock to where, like, it's not that you'd question it. Like, you'd be like, ooh, okay. Like, let's say Wedgwood has a really good game one, but they say, hey, we're going to keep doing what we've been doing. We're going to go to Blackwood. You'd have this sense of, are we sure about that? We don't
right.
feel
And like,
safe.
there's nothing at this point of the year, Spring, that I feel that way about. Like, you asked me about the power play when Kale's back. I don't go, I don't know about that. You asked me about the PK. I don't go, I don't know about that. It's been fantastic all year. You asked me about the depth on D, the depth at center. Like, there isn't a piece of this team that I have that type of reaction to other than is Blocky all the way back? So why bring in a variable that doesn't make me feel great?
Unless Wedgwood gets several straight starts and gets Linus Olmarked, where then you look back on it and you're like, oh, Wedgie got gassed.
Right. He's never done that before. It's sketchy, man. It's sketchy.
But that's where the good news is. That's where, like, whether, and I think it'll be Anaheim, but it could, whoever it is, LA, Utah, it could be Edmonton. You're getting through that. So you'll find out. We'll find out more about Wedgwood's ability to start multiple straight high leverage, big time starts. Like, he hasn't. I think he has 4 playoff appearances in his career. Somebody asked about this, but he's never started a Stanley Cup playoff game. He's coming in relief 4 times. This will be the first time that he, if he holds on to this thing, and let's say, he's starting 4+ straight in the first round, and then you got to go play Dallas in round 2. Hey, I think he can do it. But
I think he can, but I find myself agreeing with you and going back to the point that we were making a month ago was like, I want Blackwood to get a game in the first series, because what happens if Wedgie drops the first 2 to Dallas? And now you have to look at Mackenzie Blackwood and you go, dude, you haven't played in 16 days, but get your ass in there and save the season. I don't love that. Like, that's the reason why I think you have to get Mackenzie Blackwood a game in round 1. I'm sitting here like,
I think you have
is an absolute must because of it just being a contingency plan against Dallas in round 2, where, like, it's a 7-game series. There's going to be some times where we are panicking in that series. And you can't throw a goaltender who has been a career starter into the fire after not playing for 2 weeks. Like, you have to give him a game. It has to happen.
I know it could feel weird, like, if Wedgie's playing well to start the first round, but then they throw Blackwood, and like I said, there would be a sense of, like, are we sure about this? Really? But you got to trust the team in front of him, okay? You got to trust that Mackenzie Blackwood is a good goaltender at the end of the day.
He is.
And you have to trust that the Avs are just, the better team than their opponent. And you just trust that process. You get a professional win. You get Blackwood the 60 minutes. You get him the experience. You get him feeling good. And you've killed 2 birds with 1 stone, And that's it's going to be interesting to see him do that if they decide to do that. I kind of think they're going to. I really do. I think they know Blackwood at some point's getting in these playoffs. Why not just throw a little bit of confidence behind him and give him a start in the first round? I would lean that direction that's what they'll do.
I think they're going to end up doing that. All right, Spring. That's about it for me tonight. Man. Looking at the NHL's playoff bracket right now, and a meaningless extra point for the Avs. They'll be back at it tomorrow, like right around this time. I'm going to be doing network, so it'll be like a little bit delayed for Between the Pipes after the Calgary game, but we're going to know a little bit more as to who the Avs may play in round 1. You know what I need tomorrow? Like, if the big guns play, I need a goal from Nathan MacKinnon. I need a goal from MacKinnon.
Win that Rocket.
I need a point from Marty Natchez to get him to an even 100 so that I can go into Thursday's game and go, Don't need you
Here's your
to.
100 point
You
win
have your
season. Don't need to
trophy.
play.
Right. Go away. That's what I need. I need the Avs to put
Yeah.
up a 4 or 5 spot and your big boys to get some points so that you can just snooze on Thursday.
Yep.
All right,
And
people.
maybe
We'll talk
see
to
a
you
little
guys.
Kale McCarr. Maybe. We'll see on that. Maybe.
Yeah, a little sprinkle of Kale.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you guys tomorrow night. It's Between the Pipes. That's Mark Springer. I'm Raj. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.